Tonight on Zadanza, like all cool grandpas, Frank Turek is on the Insta, as they call it, I believe. So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna look. So we're gonna look at that. Also, Dan has a little activity to play.
We
All
all
that
love
and more
activities.
on
Zadanza. Hello. Hello. It feels like it's been like 9 years since we've done Zadanza. I don't know why. Whenever we skip a week, it just feels like forever.
It
Right?
does. It does. Yeah. I feel like I've been out of it just in general because, well, number one, I haven't done a lot of YouTube in a while, and then number two, yeah, every time we skip a week, it just feels like forever, even though we do this more often than anything else I do on anything online.
Yeah, it's true. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Were you thankful, Zod? Did you give thanks?
I
No?
ate turkey and stuff, I
Oh,
guess.
okay.
Oh, shoot. I admitted I ate meat in front of Dan. Oh, crap.
Oh, wow. It's not like 99% of the world also does that. That's crazy. Yeah. Mine was pretty good.
Cool. I consider myself vegan adjacent and that I sit next to a vegan while I do this show.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's all it takes to
Okay.
be a good person.
Sorry, I interrupted you when you were telling us about your
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
no, it's fine. There's a giant it turns out wine stains concrete. Did you know this? 'Cause I didn't, because there's a big old wine stain on my driveway right now
Ruh-roh.
from a spilled wine bottle. Not me. I didn't do it, but there it is. Still got to figure that out. So,
Some people spill the tea, some people spill the wine.
some people spill the tea, some people spill the wine. Speaking of spilling the tea, Zod, we got to get right to it because already from our first super chat, we got folks talking about this $1.99 from Alan Showerman, who says, "Is the show Z Danza now? Stoked for new adventures." Who are you even now? Are you still Prophet of Zod? I don't even know who you are anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. Online identities are kind of weird. So to give context, people are already making reference to it. I announced today I'm not doing videos on my Prophet is Odd channel anymore. I'm starting a new one, which it's called Mr. Z, just because that spins off from my name in some way, even though it's just corny and kind of generic. But like I said in my announcement video, I was already named Prophet is Odd, so I've gone all the way down the corny name path. But yeah,
Do
that.
you not want to be called? Do I have to call you Mr. Z now?
No,
Can
no,
I just
no,
call you? Okay,
no.
because like, why
That's
not?
more the name of a channel.
Yeah. So
I'm
you
I'm
still
still
like
Zod.
the Zod moniker, the Zod just as a first name and also last name, I guess. Is this like a Mario and Luigi Mario situation where you're both your first and last name or Zod?
You're way overthinking something where there's like no legal paperwork and
Okay.
really no system to it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm doing other stuff besides. I talk about it on the channel. You can go watch it if you want. I don't want to belabor it here too much and turn this show into that. But I'm doing stuff besides atheist content just because I'm a little burnt out on talking about atheism all the time. I've started to realize over the course of the last year that I've been kind of burnt out on that topic or just feel distant from it. It's fun to hang out here and do this, but I don't want to necessarily. It feels repetitive and it just doesn't feel connected to my life right now. So I just want to do things that are more about my life. And also, I'm probably going to ease up on the release schedule a little bit, or at least do things that, I don't know, get me off the treadmill a little bit so I can just enjoy life a little more. So
Hell yeah. We respect that. We like healthy habits here on Zadanza. As long as you keep doing the show, as long as you keep doing this show, that's all that matters, Zod.
exactly.
Here.
So
But
speaking
yeah,
of
no,
doing the show,
wait,
go ahead.
I gotta say, I'm really happy for you because how many people quit doing their YouTube channels because of some scandal or some sort of controversy. No, you were just like, I am just letting it go. And you know what? That's the best way to leave a YouTube channel if you think about
Yeah.
it. So props to you for that.
You know, I feel like I've said what I need to say about atheism, and I have that library all out there. Part of the thing was I felt like what I was starting to say was just getting repetitive. I I lasted longer than I did, and I think I said original things longer than I ever expected to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's uh I just started to notice I was falling back to the same things just because I didn't know what else to say. Like how many ways do you approach apologetics, which have just been the same BS for, at least over 1,000 years, and maybe refined in very inconsequential ways over the last,
It's
100 years
true.
or so.
But what do you think? What's the difference of doing this show? Because you still are doing Zadanza, right? For
Yeah.
the foreseeable future. So what's different for you there?
Well, uh, there's a big difference between putting in, hours and hours and hours of writing script and uh,
Bullshitting live on YouTube.
editing stuff down versus just hanging out and having fun and chatting. Like, I don't
Yeah.
mind taking an hour and a half to sit here and chat about this stuff. I just don't necessarily, so much of my headspace is parked on something that I don't dislike, but I've processed it. I don't find it relevant in the same way. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just now years past religion being part of my life or affecting me or feeling relevant to me. And so when that happens, I lose interest, and I don't feel like I'm serving my audience as well as I would have if I had that same interest. And also I don't feel like I'm in control of my message the same way. When I don't feel the effects of religion, or I just feel very distant, like it's something way in my past, I don't feel like I speak to it the same way that I would have, you know, even 2, 3 years ago. So, um,
Yeah. Well, like we said, we respect that. We give props. It's you let it go gracefully instead of in a burning trash heap, which it could have been, but
yeah.
it's not. So
And even aside from no scandals, no burning dumpster fires or anything like that. One thing I never wanted to see happen was to see my channel become one of these ones where, like, I have 60,000 subscribers and a couple thousand people are watching. And you see so many channels that their viewership becomes just a tiny fraction of the people who had signed up. And I just started over the last few months getting to where my viewership was a little lower than my subscriber count by, any kind of reasonable margin. And so I'm happy to have left my channel healthy. Um, and as far as why I'm going to a new channel and all that stuff, instead of just continuing new stuff on the one I had, I want to just make a clean cut and just let that be that legacy and be what that is. Number one, I don't want people complaining, oh, this isn't what I came here to watch, blah, blah, blah. If you
mhm.
didn't, then you won't go over and, subscribe to that new channel. But then also it's just a body of work that's unique and is what it is. And I'm not going to, I don't know, I could just move on and do another project. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. And now you get to spend all your time with me every week now, Zod, and your own other channel doing stuff. But
well,
now it's time for me to announce
that was already happening.
here's my new project that I've got started as of right now. It's called Prophet of Dan, and I am gonna like blur my face. It's gonna be a whole thing. We're gonna do like some cool atheist cartoons, all super hip stuff, I think, that's going on right now in the community. So look forward to that as I take up the now emptier market space that Zod has left. But no,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good, man. And we will still talk about dumb like Christian bullshit on here too. I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
the
Yeah.
plan. So
Yeah.
it's the plan today anyway. So don't you worry your pretty little heads about that, folks at home. Somebody's asking too if we have a blue sky. Have you got a blue sky? Because I have not. And
I'm I'm thinking of starting one because I wanted to start up some kind of social media presence for, or related to my new channel and have a link to send people to and stuff. I don't want to go to Twitter. I actually deleted my Twitter account. I'm just done with that.
yeah,
And uh, I don't know if there's already issues with like data harvesting and all that kind of stuff. If you might want to reconsider, aside from the fact that Twitter is a Nazi dumpster fire, whether you want a member of the Trump administration having that kind of access to all your data that directly. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if that's any kind of line that's crossed that's already hasn't been crossed, but
It's terrible. I don't think I've posted on there for like 6 months. Every time I log in just to kind of see what's up, it's worse every time. They made a change today where posts no longer have like dates on them. They instead say like when's the last time they were posted. So it'll be like 1 day ago or 9 hours ago, but they don't tell you the dates on there. So that's really cool and
it's
not
trash.
trash. Yeah.
You just see nothing. Yeah, the functionality of it is just breaking down more and more all the time. You see nothing but like open Nazis on it and white supremacists. And the only thing I could say something that would get a little reaction here and there, but even then, I don't know. I kind of don't like the format anyway, because to get any kind of traction or viewership on a post, it's just kind of nasty, petty
I
garbage. That's the only thing
yeah,
that gets. And to be fair, even from atheists, that's all that gets a reaction. You put you put something that's thoughtful or a little insight, nobody you post a screenshot of a dumb comment and say, "Hey, what's this?" and everybody watches it. It's like,
right. I've always enjoyed Twitter by looking at screenshots that inevitably get uploaded to Reddit. That's been my, good Twitter experience. And now I don't even do that because, like, I don't know, every time something from fucking X shows up, it's always bullshit. It's never good. There used to be a lot of funny people on Twitter. Remember the Wendy's account?
yeah,
Remember that? That was a whole thing.
yeah.
I don't know. Or what's his face? Wait, what's his name? The glasses guy? That guy was funny. I don't know. Anyway, it sucks now. It's no good. Hey, speaking of things that are no good and suck, let's talk about Frank Turek's Instagram.
That's as good a segue as any. We do have. There's a comment we had from Shivers I wanted to bring up. It's from a little while back. When did Frank become cool? I feel like that's
I
an
don't think he was ever
ill-formed
cool.
question, in that he's just always been the coolest.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, we just made opposite jokes right there.
yeah, I was thinking. I was like, why am I thinking of Wind? No, I'm thinking of Drills. That Twitter account, the guy with like the sunglasses. That guy's Twitter was funny. I was like googling while you were talking there, trying to figure that out.
Oh,
But no, Frank Turek is just milk toast. I don't know. Do people actually go up to Frank Turek and's like, oh man, you're my hero. You really changed the game. He's got more of a, I don't know, stepdad vibe than a
yeah.
guy I go to for
He's
debate
kind of
advice.
he's kind of milk toast, but in just a very aggressive, brash way. And
Hmm.
I don't know. He's one of the most irritating apologists to me. I'm just gonna come out and say that.
Well, just like all apologists, they're more for people who already believe than actually convincing folks of anything else. I don't know. Maybe Frank could tell me how many atheists he's won over to his side, and maybe he's got quite a count.
Yeah.
But I've seen Frank Turek. I've been to one of his talks in person, and maybe I can talk a little bit more about that later. But I wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressed.
Frank looks like a Buick salesman.
I could totally see that.
But
Man.
yeah, he has an Instagram, which is Instagram is too trendy and newfangled for me, but somehow Frank manages to like just step on there and be cool as cool can be. So
Yeah.
you want to see some of his Instagram presence here?
I'm more than anything else in the world, you
Yeah.
know? Like, when
You
I
know,
think of the vast, like, internet and all the great personalities and awesome content, you can see the first thing I wanna go to. It's Frank Turek's Instagram page. Absolutely.
okay, sorry, we just keep getting some good ones here. Shivers again. He's that Midwest dad who no one can stand and stands just a little too close to you while y'all talk at the neighborhood
Yeah.
barbecue. Keep them coming, everybody.
And like, and then like refers to black people in like every other word besides like black people, right? That's the thing I get. Like those, those people down over there, like, yeah, 100%, definitely has that vibe. But
All
let's do it.
right.
I want
So
to see what's he posting.
this is his
Yeah. Okay.
Instagram.
So let me ask you this, Zod. Do you think Frank makes his own posts? You think he comes up with his own content, or is he one of those guys that just like, pays somebody to make stuff for him? What do you think?
I don't think he's heavily involved in this. I think his thing is flying around, uh, you know, hassling dumb college students, using a very, very carefully curated question and answer routine where he, knows how to cut people off and all that stuff.
Yeah, look,
Or,
actually, it says it at the top, account managed by something. So no, he doesn't manage his own account.
oh, wait. Account managed by crossexamine.org.
Crossexamine.org.
Oh,
He's got
yeah, he does his,
218K followers. Who's following him? What's
jeez,
going on?
that's wild.
That's crazy. I want to see his social blade now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, it's
Oh my God, is that
Frank
a Big
Turek.
Bang Theory meme at the top? I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh
We're
no.
starting right there with the Sheldon. You wanna start
No.
with that? You wanna start with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one for sure.
I bet he totally gets the character of Sheldon.
Why? Like, why? Oh, that's why.
Thank God.
Why?
That's it.
So that's when Bible study starts.
So this
to
is what
pay
people
off.
follow him for. Bible study memes. That's great. That's awesome. That has 758 likes. Or what's his likes looking like here? Because like now I'm kind of wondering, wait, did he pay for, for bots to follow him? Because that's not like a great amount.
Oops. Sorry.
Why?
Let's see. It'd make it twice as funny if Frank made this meme himself. If
It's
not,
still not a good job. Dang, he's still getting
No,
trolled.
if not, still a good job to whoever runs the account.
Wait, look at that comment too. Pray that actor would repent and read a Bible. Wow. Now we're just hating on the actor. Damn, what did Sheldon do to you? 82nd Dab JMPM stir. That's a crazy name.
This is a very Christian meme thing. Like this just feels like something you'd see on any stupid Christian Facebook post. Like
Yeah.
they take something that and just out of context apply it to the Bible and
Also, look, they put the freaking cross-examined logo at the bottom. That's so garbage. Like, first of all, you do not have the brand. You do not have the brand recognition to just have CE and people know what the fuck you're talking about. That's crazy. One and two, it's not your fucking footage. You're putting a watermark on somebody else's footage because you put a little caption on there. Like that's not worthy of like watermarking your stuff, but I know lots of pages do that shit anyway. It's ridiculous.
yeah. Well, they need everybody to know that they are the brand who thought to put that caption on top of that clip.
Yeah, it's really good. Now, what is that?
Okay, here,
Congratulations to our CIA giveaway winner. That must mean something else.
cross-examined instructor
Oh, okay.
academy. Oh no.
They're not congratulating Trump's appointment to the CIA, I guess. It's more just something else. All right. This is look, he's got Jonah Hill. This is not a Christian movie where this is from. So a little bit of secular stuff happening here.
Someone probably did a Google image search for excited.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's gotta be what it is.
Cross-examine instructor academy. That's
This summer you're headed to Lakewood Ranch, Florida, where you'll gain expert training to defend the faith with confidence. Join a community of passionate believers committed to making disciples and deepen your ability to share I'm assuming this is gospel. Share the truth of the gospel in an impactful way. I think that's a horror movie description I just read there.
so Do you think Christianity is full of too many people who don't have enough confidence when they share the faith? I don't think confidence is the thing that's missing when, people share their faith or argue
What?
y-
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, there were people that was like, I don't feel like I know enough about the Bible to talk about this, and that's what it was for me. And then I read more, and I was like, oh, I don't think I can talk about this anymore. But yeah, no. If anything, Frank's problem is probably he has too much confidence in talking about it.
yeah.
Um,
I don't this is one of those things kind of like when what's his name, the shoot, the
who?
banana man, Ray Comfort.
Banana
He would
Man.
he would sell stupid ass little things to stick on Halloween candy and give to people, and nobody in the world is going to be convinced by that. He's just doing it for the sales. I I feel like things like this, I don't think Frank or the people who put these together really think they're raising up a new generation of apologists or that they're really making people more effective at arguing things. I think this is basically like an experience camp. They're selling the experience of thinking you're going to get better and they get all your money is maybe the point.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to spend a camp time fun with Frank Turek, you know? I
What?
am curious about these, archaeological discovery. You were kind of talking about this one before. I'm sure this
Yeah,
is going to be super legitimate and
this
not a
one's a little,
misconstruction.
yeah. All right, let's watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most amazing archaeological discoveries in history related to the Bible. This is the Merneptah stela. There was a pharaoh in Egypt by the name of Merneptah. He came right after Ramses II. And this stela, this victory statement, comes from 1208
Stela.
BC. So this thing is over 3,200 years old. And if you look down here,
He's standing way too
can
fucking
see-
close. That's way too close. Is there no glass?
I don't know.
He's way too close. I don't like it. He
Also,
shouldn't be
does it look like
touching.
he's trying to dress like an archaeologist or something, or like he's on an adventure?
I don't know what he's dressed
He's got
as.
the cargo pants and the
Oh, we
black
gotta. Zadanza fit check. Hold on, fit check. We gotta get to a better angle. We gotta get to a whole. Go back a second or two, maybe.
I don't know how to.
Oh,
I
you
don't.
can't. Okay, you'll have to play it forward. Maybe it'll get back to him.
how it's kind of worn more black because people were actually touching the inscription that mentioned that Israel as a nation had been laid waste by Pharaoh Merneptah in 1208 BC. Well, how could that be if the Exodus took place in the 1200s, like many
All right, let's
people
pause.
say? The much more consistent date for the
Fit check. All right, what we got? Is that the New Balance? We got the dad New Balance sneakers with the cargo pants, functional pockets. We love our functional pocket and the turtleneck, bro. In case you get cold in the museum. Classic
It's not.
dad
I was
fit right
disappointed.
there.
I was disappointed to notice it wasn't actually a turtleneck, but it looks enough like one.
It's like is that like a hoodie turtleneck thing?
It's like a collared fleece type thing or something with a black t-shirt under it.
All right, fit check complete, download complete. I see you, Frank. I see you. When I see this, I would say that's a man spending time with his kids. He's about to spend too much damn money in the museum gift shop after this on his daughters. That's what I see right there.
I think when a Christian shows up to a historical site with that many pockets, you need to like hide all your relics because
Yeah, you're right. He does look like he's
They're
going to
looking to-
steal some sort of national artifact here. Yeah.
they're looking to fill those pants up and take it back to Hobby Lobby.
Okay, yeah. So he's like, unless you're like a super uber Bible nerd, like Frank Turek is, or you're one of us, like nobody's gonna be very excited. I like how he's like, "Oh, isn't this so amazing? This is so cool." It's like, "Oh, because this thing said that they lay waste to Israel," and the argument here, I guess, is that, oh, this is actually talking about the Exodus account, which, like, I don't think is the case, but okay, we can just pretend. Sure.
Did you know that this archaeological relic mentions Israel?
Yeah, that's it.
Why don't you believe in the supernatural, idiot?
Yeah, I guess the Red Sea and Moses and the snakes coming out of the staff stuff. Yeah, that's all true too. You know, they definitely talk
But
about that.
maybe once he finishes making his point, we'll realize it's the weave. He has to tie it all
Oh,
together.
look at that! Wait, look at that comment. Sarah Official says, "Wokies be like, no, it's Palestine. Gross,
Dude, eat
grody,
shit.
ew." They got 1,000 likes. What? Why is that woke to just talk about the state of Palestine? Like, what? I swear to God, Zod, I don't think people knew Palestine was a thing like 2 years ago. I really don't. I think there's people who just kind of figured it out after recent events. That's what it seems like.
It was well, there was very little emphasis. They just had this vague sense that it was like terrorist Muslims who lived in Israel. I think,
Yeah, they knew that Israel was oppressing them. They didn't know why it was oppressing them. Now they have good reason to, I guess, right? From their
yeah,
perspective.
it's always fun when people make fun of the semantics of genocide. Like,
Right.
oh,
Right.
they weren't really a nation.
Yeah. Super
Okay.
cool. Is there anything interesting
Exodus
more in the
20
video?
What's that?
Does he say anything else interesting in this video?
All right, let me just tie it together. That's one of the more boring ones in
Okay.
terms. Well, it's just him carrying on about some little point, but basically, it's that people say that the Exodus happened in the 1200s BC. This says that Pharaoh, I mean, Egypt claimed to have wiped Israel out in 1200 or whatever on that rock or that tablet or whatever.
Right.
So therefore, Israel couldn't have. The Exodus had to have been earlier than that, or something. I don't know.
Okay. Sure.
It's all this minutia and hair splitting that I don't really care about, and doesn't inch me a nudge closer to believing in anything supernatural, and wouldn't for anybody. Like you said, it's just for people who already believe. Then nobody cares about that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I do want to see that one where it says, "Are Christians better than me?" I'm sure it's him debating some college student very adamantly and bravely, you know.
Sure, let's watch him bravely to talk to his
Yeah.
college student.
In that moment, it felt like, oh, I'm lower than these people.
Oh,
Like,
this is one of
they
his
think because like they
things where he
believe
does
in
a
God that they're
preview of a
better
video
than
that's going to
me.
be like a minute and a half long anyway.
What is the basis of human life? Does our value only come when we are believers of Christ? And like, if that's so, like, is there motivation to only be a Christian because you know you'll be saved?
Okay, no, the value of human life is the fact that God made us in his image, and whether you're a believer or not, that's still true.
That's wow.
So that's the beauty of Christianity.
I hate that shit. So dumb.
Just a little production note. It's just, does it feel a little overdone when they like put animations over him just having a question and answer session? I don't know.
It does look pretty fucking extra. It looks like he's about to do like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sort of thing. Like he's about to walk up stage with like Howie Mandel and hand out some suitcases to these kids and get some game show stuff on.
With anything you make, like even when I'm doing scripted content and stuff like that, you really got to think about when it makes sense to have graphics and any kind of footage appear over you when you're talking. To just put it over, I don't know, maybe it's just me, to just put it over on impromptu live thing where you're just talking to somebody on stage and doing a question and answer, it just feels out of place. It looks like you're trying too hard. I don't know.
While we're paused here, I'll go ahead and tell my story about Frank Turek because I saw him when he did a talk at Baylor University, and I asked him a question, and I think there's video of me asking him a question online.
Oh,
somewhere.
I bet you got pwned.
Here's what I asked, because he did emphasize part of his talk on objective morality, right? Because he thinks objective morality is the thing. And I asked him basically, okay, well, there's this passage in Numbers where these people stone somebody to death because the guy like did work on a Sunday, right? Like he moved sticks. And I asked him, is that an example of objective morality? And I think his answer was, well, they were following the laws of the time. Like they were following the cultural distinction of the time, like the laws that we aren't held to today. And like his answer was long enough to where it would have been awkward, I think, if I like kept asking him stuff afterwards, because like I was in line, there was some other people, but it's like, okay, but that's like not objective morality if you're saying,
Yeah.
oh, it like you're following this cultural law. Because like the whole point of me asking that, right, is like, yeah, if you saw somebody stone somebody to death for breaking this old law, you would say, hey, that's fucked up. But like, can we judge them by an objective standard or not? Like, that's the difference here. But of course, they can't answer questions like that. Why even bother? Right.
Him saying that was only a law at that time is meant to, like, you know, minimize it or skirt around it and show why it doesn't apply today. But that's still, it's almost counterproductive in terms of what your question was.
Yeah.
Is that objective? Well, no, God's laws just change all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing, you know, I'm interested, like, would we litigate that person? You know what I mean? Like, should that person go to jail, or that group of people go to jail for killing somebody? Because they didn't.
Yeah.
They were following God's law. So like, I don't know what objective morality means. I don't know. It seems like it's whatever the culture says it is. But
Yeah.
anyway.
My big thing at that was, it, even if you want to say the law changed, does it not bother you that it was still in the character of God to come up with that law and that he saw a purpose for it? Like,
Yeah. What was the purpose? What was the point? How did it edify God in any way?
yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, obviously these questions have no answers. This girl, you know, there's a super chat that we should read here. $10 from Cayenne Young. Thank you so much for the $10. It says, my $10 says that audience member was prepped with a script. I will say this, I don't feel like when I was there, this was years ago, you know, that there's anything like that going on. I guess I wouldn't know either way, but it's like, you know, there is enough people asking weird and strange questions that Frank can make video content off of. I don't think he has to give people a script for this. I also feel like that this girl's kind of being genuine a little bit. I mean, she's talking about some hurt that's happening. I don't know. I don't get the vibe that she's faking it.
Yeah. My take is, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd ever had an audience plant, if nothing else, just to keep things going, if they were having a slow day or something. But yeah, I think enough people line up to answer questions. And I think, so my take on the Frank Turek thing and how it works, it doesn't look like he uses plants. It looks like he's in contention with the people he's talking to. And he was going to appear at the University of Alaska up here, and I was tempted to go watch it and maybe try to ask a question, but I just thought it was completely futile, because, like in your case, he's an expert at these question and answer things. He knows how to make sure they never get out of control. And it's not through actually debunking anything or out arguing anybody. It's purely in using the conventions of the question and answer thing to either interrupt people and change the flow of something, or else, like in your case, talk about something so long that it felt awkward to keep going. He just knows how to position the person in line to where they can't get any traction. And there's really no way, no matter what your point is, no matter how forceful you try to be or how good your point is, it's not going to get anywhere for reasons you're just going to come away feeling annoyed about or unsatisfied.
Yeah.
So,
his thing is, he's the showman at the end of the day. He's got to look good while he's on stage, you know?
yeah.
And that's it. It's the Frank Turek show, you know? So yeah, I don't know. No, I wasn't impressed. I will say that. Didn't get me back to God. I'll put it that way. Another donation though from Jay Victor gave 5. I'm assuming it's reals, rupees. I don't know what the R is, but appreciate it anyway. Who says
it's real?
Is it reals? Okay. I says Frank's God follows the Nixon principle. It's not immoral if I tell you it isn't. Basically, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, he's talking about like we're only valuable because we're in God's image. By the way, I'm still hung up on that.
Yeah.
How ridiculous. I heard that so
Yeah.
much as a Christian, but very, yeah.
That whole idea is trash. We can continue watching if you want, and then let him see if he expounds on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Let's keep going.
Christianity, everybody is considered made in the image of God and is therefore valuable. And you don't have to be a Christian to get the image of God. You already have it. But if you want to have your sins forgiven and you want to share eternity with Jesus and your loved ones who have also been forgiven, he has given you that opportunity. Everybody's going to live eternally. It's not just believers. Unbelievers will live eternally, but they'll be separated from God by their own choice. They don't want to be in the presence of Jesus. They haven't accepted the free gift of salvation. Now, is that the only motivation to become a Christian? No, you ought to become a Christian because you get God and because it's true. It's not just so I can experience eternal life. It's because you want to see and know your Creator. And it's true. That's why I'm a Christian, because it's true.
Cool. Yeah, I hate that thing. Like, you're valuable because you're in the image of God. So misunderstands the whole point of why people have value and why you want to show them decency. It's kind of gross.
It is really gross. Imagine if you told your son you're valuable because you're made in the image of me. Like, it's just a gross thing to say, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I find that happens a lot when Jesus says something or God says something about how awesome they are. Like, if you heard it from literally any other person, they would sound like a fucking narcissist. But I guess with the creator of the universe, it doesn't count.
Yeah, and like, it just devalues human. Like, let's just say that you could. What does that even mean? Like, if you could take someone and make them sapient and give them a full level of intelligence and stuff without them being in the image of God, if there could be a version of that wasn't in the image of God, would they suddenly not have value? Would you just like beat the shit out of them and torture them and not care because they weren't in God's image? I really don't think you would. Or do you just think that level of intelligence and having a consciousness by definition makes you in the image of God, in which case it just becomes tautological? You're just aligning your idea of God's image with humanist values.
Yeah. Also, does that mean Satan is made in the image of God? Because like Satan has sentience, right? If sentience is all it is, I don't know. It's just a nothing statement. But like, I never thought about this stuff when I was a Christian. Like, I just heard that and it just went through one ear and then right out the other. You know, you hear it so often, you kind of don't even think about how stupid it is.
It's just using buzzwords to intuitively appeal to like ideas that we feel deep down but never really flesh out. And so it's a shortcut to kind of feeling something you think without thinking enough about it. And I think that's the problem. It never really gets you down to the actual point of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
want to watch a couple more of these?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I see.
Well, let's look at this bullshit.
Yeah, I do want to see that one. Yeah.
You don't?
No, I do because
okay. We're
talking about like a meme from literally like 2010 that's being posted on Frank's Insta.
Science only makes sense if there's a mind behind the universe. Okay, so bring evidence for this mind.
Yeah, actually. Well, no, so actually, I don't like that response. Wait, that was it? It's just a...
Yeah, it just says science only makes sense if there's a mind behind it. Someone says, show me that mind. And they just say challenge accepted. That's the end of the video.
No, because like if you frame it as show me evidence for that mind, well, then he's going to just go into creationist bullshit. Really, you have to say why. I don't know. Like, why even start with the conclusion of a mind in the first place? I don't know. Like, you can always like be like, oh, what could point towards a mind? Sure, you could do that shit all day, but it's like, you don't have direct evidence of a mind, right? It's always circumstantial stuff. That's all young earth creation. Well, I don't know. Is Frank a young earth? I've always wondered this because I've never gotten a clear answer on whether Frank Turek is a young earth creationist or not. Do you know if he's a young earth creationist?
I don't know. Rochester Swift said Frank Turek couldn't be cool if he jumped in a snowbank. I don't know why I like that so much.
Yeah.
Anyway. Here, let's you want to watch the miracle?
Yeah, what's this miracle? Atheists.
A lot of people can't believe in a resurrection because they've never seen one. But the resurrection's not the greatest miracle in the Bible. The greatest miracle in the Bible is the first verse. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. If that verse is true, every other verse, including verses about a resurrection, are at least possible. You know the interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen? The interesting thing is that even atheists are admitting the evidence for the first verse. They're saying there was a beginning to the universe. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if space, time, and matter had a beginning out of nothing, what could have caused that? It seems to me only a spaceless, timeless, immaterial,
some William Lane
powerful,
Craig.
personal, intelligent cause could have caused space, matter, and time to come into existence out of nothing. That sounds a lot like God.
That's what the atheists are saying.
Look, if Genesis 1:1.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
See,
Yeah,
that's
even
like-
the atheists are admitting there's a beginning to the universe. Wow, so profound. Yeah, okay, man. Jesus.
Or
What
we
a
don't even
con
necessarily think there's a
artist.
beginning to the universe, or that statement even necessarily makes sense in a way that directly aligns with our intuition. Like, all we know is that all the matter and time we've seen expanded from a singularity, apparently.
Yeah, that yeah, again, there's a whole debate on what even beginning of the universe actually means. There's a lot of people that contest that the
Yeah.
language there is incorrect because of the just the concept of time itself kind of becoming a thing. So there wouldn't be like a before necessarily. It's just like everything that has existed in time has a starting point, but that doesn't mean that it's the same thing as, I don't know, something coming from nothing, right? So, there's a whole thing there, but Frank will never get into the nuance of that because he's a dishonest fuckhead. He knows better because he does these talks all the time and he talks to all these people, but it doesn't matter. He loves being the fucking smartest guy in the room. And that's why people like him do this shit. So I have no respect for him. I'm getting, post-election, Zod, I'm just getting mean. I'm just saying, fuck it. Maybe
Yeah.
we need to be a little more heartless. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we need to go for the throat, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. This kind of stuff drives me crazy. It's like where I said that saying that we have value because we're made in the image of God appeals to intuition without thinking. This is where Christians take intuition just like way too far. Like,
Yeah.
we acknowledge that calling it the beginning of the universe can be semantically problematic, just because everything about how the universe began, or even the idea that it began, whatever goes back far enough in time, in somewhere our intuition is going to break down. It's not going to align with any description we can come up with. It probably, as long as humans are alive, will defy our understanding or our ability to make any kind of model or whatever. And you're going to sit there and pretend that in an armchair you can deduce that had to have come from a mind and it's like, it's so stupid. And it's obviously directed toward whatever you already believed in Sunday school. Like,
like I said this before, but when I saw him speak, I definitely 100% got the vibe that this was for Christians who already believed or were kind of doubting a little bit, and Frank was there to help reinforce them and say, no, your belief's actually intelligent because look at all these other things, right?
yeah.
It's to keep people in. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What no one ever told you about gender dysphoria? Oh, he's doing trans shit.
Oh, he does a lot. I don't even want to watch that.
You watched that one? Is it bad?
I've watched Genetically Modified Skeptic respond to that stuff a lot and talk about the actual science and everything. It's just so abrasive and pointless. I just don't even want to watch that. I don't know. I don't feel like it's worth it.
I didn't realize he was doing the trans shit. Obviously, it makes sense that these fuckers have to move their attention to another fucking minority group for them to fucking harass and put down. But okay, yeah.
People who identify as an intangible soul temporarily inhabiting an earthly body want to talk about how silly and non-scientific it is to think that your identity defies, their 8th grade concept of gender.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's not scientific. It's not scientific. What is scientific is that we know the beginning of the universe was made by a timeless, voidless intelligence of perfect power. Yeah. That's scientific right there.
Yeah, super awesome stuff. I already know, by the way, what's to the left there where it says she was 9. That's probably talking about Aisha, which is hilarious that, like, he would dunk on Muslims when Mary was probably like 13, when she was impregnated by the God of the universe against her fucking consent. But okay, sure.
Yeah.
Muhammad's the one that's really bad here.
She also was probably the age of all the girls who had never known a man, that when Israel rolled in, you know, I don't know, there's all that
Yeah.
hypocrisy there, which that's not getting anywhere.
Yeah. What's
So-
what's he got to say about parents? He says, parents,
Yeah,
listen up.
I want to show this one. Now, we have 45 minutes left. How long do you think you want for your game?
I don't know. I mean, I could probably use 30 minutes for my thing, but I'm enjoying this right now.
All right, sounds good. We have parents listen up, and then we also have the non-Christian relatives. Please don't stir the pot at Thanksgiving. Tips for how to bring up Christianity at Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to take some time on that, that might take.
Oh,
a minute,
yeah,
but-
definitely.
All right, here's parents listen up.
If your parents approved of everything you wanted to do when you were 13 years old, would they have been loving? No, of course not. Love doesn't mean approval. Love doesn't mean enabling people to do evil. Love means you're standing in the way of evil. If you approve of everything some kid wants to do, you're not loving.
Pause it. What fucking evil was your 13-year-old getting up to, Frank? What the fuck? Like, saying your kid wants a fucking scooter is not fucking evil, my man. What's happening? What are they doing? What?
Yeah, here's the thing.
God.
If your 13-year-old wants to do something and you say no, you should be speaking from your adult experience and your basic intelligence and understanding consequences of action. And you should be able to conceptualize and articulate why that behavior is going to be destructive toward them or harmful to someone else or something like that. You don't just say it's evil, shooting from the hip or quoting scripture or something like that. Or if you do, that's a whole other conversation. So I suspect, don't know, but suspect that Frank isn't going to put that much insight into what he calls evil or how he,
No,
came up with
Frank's one
whatever
of those
principles.
probably authoritarian dads where he's just like, no means no, and he doesn't have to give a good reason. That's the other thing too. Like, if you're just saying no just to say no, you are being a shitty fucking parent. You are. If you're just denying a kid an experience or something just because you don't feel like, you don't want to give it to him, or you don't want to spend the time to do something for him. I mean, like, yeah, there's reasonable limits, but like, there's definitely parents that just don't give a fuck. They just don't like something themselves, and they're not willing to put the time in to understand their kid's interest. And that's fucking shitty too. So I don't know, but I don't know where he's going with this. So
I think I do, because I've seen him do this. That's partly why I was interested in this. This is one of Frank's go-tos. He does this a lot.
You're unloving. You're an enabler. Here's what Paul says about love. Love does not rejoice in wrongdoing. Love rejoices in the truth. Love always protects. Love always perseveres. You don't protect people when you're approving of the evil they're doing. You're doing the opposite. Knock it off. We're not really loving people. We're enabling them to do evil. And a lot of times we won't tell them the truth because we don't want them mad at us. We want to take the easy way. We will sacrifice them for our benefit rather than sacrificing ourselves for their benefit. That's what love is, to sacrifice yourself for the benefit of others. If your parents approved of everything you wanted to do when you were 13 years old, would they have...
So he's talking about gay people, right? Is that what he was going for? You can't let them love each other. You got to say no. That's what I got there. Well, he wasn't talking about adulterers, surely. He wasn't talking about, rapists or anything like that. I think he was just talking about like people being gay or something. That's the vibe I got.
He wasn't talking about shifty apologists who take people's money for bullshit.
No.
Yeah, the point of that's pretty clear. Like he wants to have some kind of rationale for just, I read it in the Bible and therefore I'm going to call it evil without any reflection or on why. And so he just draws this analogy. Like, yeah, some parents don't care and some parents just say do whatever. He's not referring to that. He's referring to parents who like lovingly keep their kids from demonstrable harm. That's not the same as, oh, the Bible says this, and so I'm just going to put my foot down and insist. Which usually, he usually says this in response to homosexuality or other LGBTQ issues. It's like, yeah, that doesn't make me give a fuck about what you say about that. A Muslim could stand on the stage and say that about you eating bacon. What would you care about that? Nothing, because it's just a stupid commandment from a holy book.
Yeah, I like this comment from Mia Heinonen, who says Mia 13 making website evilly making websites on GeoCities. Yeah, doing some real sinner stuff out there, playing fucking Neopets, you know, playing RuneScape. Those are sinner games.
Yeah, my parents were probably just rolling their eyes at what a nerd I was or whatever. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I did see under this one, there's one about our colleges queering kids. Did I read that title right?
probably. Where's that at?
Scroll down. There it is on the right. Is college queering our kids? What the fuck does that even mean? Queering our kids. I do you want to? I kind of want to watch it, but like I know it's gonna be hateful. So you tell me, Zod. Do you want to watch it?
You know, I just have no attraction to like other males, and that's it's. I'm 100% supportive if you do, but that's just not me. The idea that I could go to college and they would just like make me want I don't know, that's just weird.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess it's like reverse conversion therapy though, or whatever, like praying the gay away. What conversion camp, is that what they call that? I'm spacing out on the word.
A or gay conversion therapy.
Yeah, gay conversion
camps?
therapy.
Yeah.
Like I guess if you believe that you can ungay somebody by sending to a camp, then you're going to believe that you can gay them by sending to a school. None of it makes sense.
Right. Well, you have to. It has to be a choice under the Christian worldview. That's the only way those kinds of camps can rationally exist and make sense, is if these people are actively doing something wrong, by liking somebody or whatever, or having attractions to same-sex people.
You want to just watch this, see what he says?
I do real quick. Yeah, I want to see
right.
what the
You
fuck.
can't just decide that you're an African American, right?
Oh,
Why not?
This is fucking
If I
great.
have it in my mind that I am, why not? If I have it in my mind that I'm a
Oh.
7-year-old and need to go to first grade, should I be able to go?
Maybe you should start.
I've had these discussions with some of my daughter, who's a recent college grad, and
That's her first mistake.
right. But the
Her mistake was going to college?
indoctrination,
Yeah, what the fuck, Frank? You speak at colleges all the time.
The debate, and I guess I just want to ask you how best to address this. So she was taught to make the distinction between gender and sex.
Okay.
And gender is a social construct. And what's regarded as singularly male or singularly female or fluid. And you can see that throughout even Western culture, how at one time men wore heels or ruffled shirts, and then it transitioned. And so what was women and true identifications as to male and female, that's fluid. And so you really can't talk about gender when you're speaking about sexual identity.
I think she's confusing custom with objective sex. At different times, and even now, if you go to Ireland, they wear kilts. They don't call them dresses, because if they called them dresses, they'd be killed. All right?
Right.
So good.
But men wear dresses, okay? But that is okay in that custom. It's still considered menswear, okay?
All right. So why?
I just have to say, as somebody who tells dad jokes, I found that very offensive. Like
that,
you might think dad jokes are the bottom of the barrel, but there is a standard, and Frank just proved it.
Yeah. What's so, okay, he's saying, they wear things there that we would consider dresses, but it's okay there. Okay, yeah. So I'm very curious then, what is his response to, I guess he's gonna say that's whatever, like it's about your genitals, right? He's just gonna do
Scotland,
that.
Frank, you dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That's true. He doesn't even. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Anyway,
Well,
all right. I want to see his stupid take.
well, still, the whole point of this though is that there are aspects of, I don't know, this is imprecise, but I think part of this whole thing of gender versus sex, I think, is that we do attach baggage to how each sex should behave. And I think some of that can become, we build certain identities around that people
Yeah.
aren't necessarily going to align to based on uh what we think men and women should do. That's just a very basic surface level thing that can only help you by analogy understand gender identity. It runs a lot deeper than that, as I understand.
Yeah,
But
and
he's just taking, well, actually there's something that looks like a dress that's actually for men. Yeah, we know that, dumbass. Like
Yeah.
that's not what we're talking about.
yeah. Also, and I mean, they talk about this in the preview. I guess he'll bring it up later. But like, he said, "Oh, you can't just identify as an African American." It's like, what? How the fuck do you think that happened? Like, yeah, that is exactly how it happened. People decided that's a label for them. African Americans did not exist as a concept. That was not a thing until people decided that was an appropriate label for themselves. Like, that is a great example of a social construct. Like, I love it when these idiots, these fucking transphobes are like, "Oh, you can't just decide your race." Yes, you fucking can. It's all made up. There's no like magic identifier in your genes that says, "Oh, this is the black gene and this is a white gene." Like, that's just not a thing. Race has always been a social construct as well, and it's like they end up just, I don't know, defeating their own points when they say stupid shit like that.
Well, and like yeah, even within race, there's a certain analogy, like you were saying, like the fact that your skin is a certain tone could be like your plumbing or your sex, and what the police see and how they treat you when they see you on the street could be analogous to gender. Like there's a social component and there's a physical component to it. And again, I don't think that saying gender is just a social construct. I think could be a little reductive to how much is built into your biology and your identity, your personal identity and stuff like that. I think you have to take a little bit of care with that. But there is definitely a social and a cultural aspect to it. I mean, trying
Yeah.
to deny that just because there's kilts in Scotland and Ireland or
Well,
whatever.
it's like if I take a census tomorrow, right? And I put my race as black, I'm not going to go to fucking jail. Right? Like
Yeah,
there's no rules that stop me from saying that. Like because that's just how people feel about themselves. That's ultimately a self identifying thing. And just the same thing goes with gender, right? Like
yeah,
that's always going to be a personal thing. It's not something that's going to be easily always explained through biology or whatever, because we still had these ideas of race and gender before we had our understanding of biology today. So the biology almost doesn't even matter in some ways. But
yeah.
anyway,
We got to chat. Race is a social construct, but it's not based on self ID in the same way that gender is. Just got to put that out there. Yeah, I agree. Even though there are some analogies to be made to help understand how some things are social or whatever, I definitely agree. You can't just choose to identify that I'm like, I can't
I
just say, go ahead.
well, I know. I mean, it is a self-identifying thing, actually. Like, how many Jewish people have a debate about whether they count as white or not, or how many times in history Irish people have not been considered white, or Italian people, right? Like
Yeah.
that definitely changes over time, and people's self-identification in those categories definitely do change over time. So I don't know if I agree with the case that self-identity doesn't have anything to do with race. It definitely does. We have like what broadly accepted categories, like, if I'm going around saying I'm black, there's no real reason for me to do that. I don't have any cultural identifiers in my personal history or anything else that would make me reasonably identify with that. So there's a case to be made there about like what's socially acceptable, but at the end of the day, it's always like a choice that people make. I don't know. You can't get around it because it is a social construct. But anyway, that's my
Yeah.
take.
And Kevin again said, as a black man, I get treated the same regardless of how I ID. And that's part of the problem. I think that's part of the issue, even with like sex and gender and stuff.
Yeah.
Some people, when they say they identify as a certain gender or whatever, they just don't want to be put in a box and treated a certain way because of how they were born. I don't want to reduce this to one specific thing, but I think that's part of it. Is our culture puts all kinds of expectations and approaches people with certain preconceptions that aren't fair, whether that's because of your race or your sex or whatever. And is it any of your business at all if somebody wants to be treated differently and behave in a way that is traditionally associated as male or female or whatever? It's not any of your business at all, I don't think.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. Fucking
Anyway.
stupid. I fucking hate Frank for getting us down this stupid rabbit hole because of his
Yeah.
stupid observations. Anyway, let's finish this video.
So the custom that we might have for how we dress is not the same as saying there are men and women. It's just how those customs apply to men and women in given cultures. That's all. So,
And thankfully, I did have that course of thinking.
Mhm.
However, like she pointed out, and she's a Christian, praise the Lord, but she's saying that this is the argumentation. So at one time in America, women did not wear pants. Women, for the most part, were
and then
dresses.
Hillary Clinton came along.
Right. And, men didn't wear pink and men didn't do certain things. But today, and this is mind blowing to me, but she's saying that males who identify as heterosexual males, though, will put on nail polish and wear pearls. And I'm saying that's freaky. Like,
Okay, but when Paul talks about, or maybe in Leviticus too, I'm trying to think in the Old Testament.
to abstain from all appearance,
Yeah.
to abstain from anything identifying
Sorry,
as male.
can we
Yeah,
pause?
yeah,
for
try
just a
not
second?
to look
Because
the opposite.
Has Frank never met a woman before Hillary Clinton that's worn pants before? Like what the fuck was up with that? I guess that was just for the
He
base
obviously
there.
doesn't think that's literally true. He's just using
That's
her as an example of,
weird though. I don't know where you get that. But I love this idea that okay, Scottish people their culture is legitimate and we may change over time, but when other people want to change their own culture and their own environment, that's just not legitimate. But like when they do it, it's okay because it's from a long time ago, I guess. I don't know. These arguments about like what's culturally right or wrong are just so stupid.
I'm feeling done with this. Are you?
Sure, yeah, we don't have to keep
I
going
think it's
with
just
it.
stupid. And by the way, I don't speak about any of this from personal experience. I'm as basic a white male, straight cisgendered person as you could find. So I try my best to understand this kind of stuff, and I try to speak tentatively about things I don't know about. But forgive me if I trip over myself a little bit or make some generalizations or some unfair statements. But obviously the way he expresses it is just so obnoxious.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Really, and this, I think his Hillary comment just fits in with this whole thing because he's not even speaking as a Christian at this point. He's speaking as a right-wing culture warrior, which is really what's overtaken a lot of evangelical Christianity. He has certain grievances and certain irritations with certain kinds of people, and he's just looking to justify it.
Yeah, like how shitty is, like, I don't know, talking about Hillary Clinton like that, because like I think that Hillary Clinton probably has a sincere belief in God, right? Like probably identifies as a Christian. I don't know her heart, but like I think it's more likely than not. And it's just like, oh no, we can just shit all over that because she's the political enemy of Daddy Trump. We all got to worship at the feet of him and never criticize him or talk about what he does wrong, but we're still making Hillary Clinton jokes in 2024. It's just ridiculous.
Well, and just think, even if she's not a sincere Christian or not a Christian at all, even if she's a complete sinner or whatever, like, what is the heart of Christianity supposed to be toward her? Is it to like wish that she would come to repentance and pray for her, or is it to treat her as an offhand byword and joke just because she's a little bit too masculine and she didn't know her place with her husband and blah 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 blah? Like,
yeah,
Which one do you think Jesus would be proud of if he came back down and was watching you, Frank?
Yeah. I get so mad. Just, I don't want to say on behalf of trans people because that sounds weird, but it's just like, it's just, why is it in the last few years it's just always trans people? Like, these people are just fucking bullies. I just fucking hate them for that. And I wish I could tell Frank Turek to his face, if I got the opportunity to speak to him again, I would say you're a fucking bully for talking about shit like that, and for telling this mother who's having a conversation with her daughter and learning new things about the world and experiencing that, no, actually your bigotry and your cultural hangups, you're right, actually, you know, and your daughter sucks and she's learning all these bad things. Like, go fuck yourself, Frank. Seriously.
Yeah.
Have a heart, you bastard. But anyway.
Yeah, I can't speak for them or say I get offended on their behalf or whatever, but one thing I feel like I've learned by getting to know some transgender people is that they, for good reason, feel a little uncertain about their place in society and how people are going to react to them, and what kind of looks they're going to get, or even, even worse. Like, are those really the people you need to pick on and make the target of some kind of stochastic harassment? Like, yeah, that's whatever.
Grody.
So
On that note, you want to play
yep.
a game?
We're down to 20 minutes. Do you want to play a
Uh-huh.
game, or do you want to watch Frank Turek's approach to Thanksgiving dinner? What do you
Okay.
want to do?
Oh, you know what? I do want to see the Thanksgiving thing. So
So do you
maybe
want
we
to
do need to
try the
watch
game
that.
next time, just so we give it more time?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, yeah, we can keep going here.
We
I'm
can
fine.
try, we can
Zod,
try to
it's a
fit it in.
good day if I'm dunking on Frank. Okay, yeah,
All
I'm
right,
having
all
a
right.
good time. So
All right,
we
let's
can
just
keep
do this
going.
one, and then we'll see what we have for time. I just don't want to rush
All
your
right, all right.
activity too much at the end. So non-Christian relatives, please don't stir the pot this Thanksgiving. Me, God exists and Jesus came to save you. There's not much here, but there's a link. Top 10 ways to advance the gospel at holiday dinners.
Oh my God. I don't think a Christian, in my experience, has ever been too afraid to talk about God at Thanksgiving. At least at my Thanksgivings.
Yeah, like when you're at the dinner table with people, with all your family, especially ones you.
Oh, is it just me, folks, or has Zod gone off into the Zodiverse? I think I'm still alive. Oh, hello.
Hello?
Yes, you're back.
Okay.
You were gone.
I was
Or
seeing
maybe
wheels for
I was
both of us
gone.
for a second. I don't know. All right. Anyway, but yeah, like I could carry on about that. We know the deal. Christians feel entitled to be shitty, or some of them, not all of them, but some of them feel like, advancing the gospel makes it their place. Whatever. So let's see some of his tips for sharing the gospel.
You stopped sharing screen. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
I know. I'm switching to the other screen.
Oh, okay. Crossexamine.org. Love to see it.
Whoa, what? Oh,
they got the top 20 Christian apologists. Hello. Did Frank write this list? Did he put himself as number one? Zod, right, I think you keep spacing out of reality for a second there. I don't know. I think the chat's still seeing me, but you are dipping
am I
out
here
for
now?
some reason. Yeah, you're back now.
All right.
But before we start, we do have a super chat from Jay Victor, who gave another 5 real and said the reason bigots pile on trans people is because they can't pick on gay people like they used to. You are so fucking right for that, because the most hateful assholes will still talk about gay people, but you're right. Trans people have become the new punching bag predominantly, right? Like that is just a fact of the culture war. Like it just comes up way more. And you're right. Like they are especially vulnerable for that. So I don't know. It fucking sucks. They're fucking bullies. and I fucking hate him for it. I don't know. I give no fucks, no concessions to assholes who just pick on people like that. So
Yeah. Someone else has a take. The reason they pick on trans people is because they're bigots. Yeah, I would say that's more the core reason. But that, along with the fact that it's more culturally acceptable to be bigots toward trans people, whereas our view of gay people has shifted, I think, more as a culture is part of, it's kind of both and thing.
I mean, they still talk about them behind their backs. And by the way, they also talk about racial minority groups behind people's backs. What do you think Frank Turret's thoughts are on the Black Lives Matters movement? I can sure guess, right? Like, that's just become the quiet part that they don't always talk about out loud.
Yeah, I know. I think there's two different
Mhm.
questions here. One is, what are their attitudes and what do they talk about behind closed doors?
Yeah.
The other is, how do they shape their arguments for public conversation and presentation to everybody else? And I think that's why the focus is on trans people, is our as a corporate body of Americans, our views on gay people have changed enough to where you can't say the same things you used to in public. Clearly, I don't think that they've repented of their attitudes, and it's just more of a public strategy thing. Not only do you have to go after trans people versus other people, but you also have to focus on tangential little distraction issues like women's sports and bathrooms and stuff like that, just to make it appear to have some kind of actual concern for people.
Yeah. It's concern trolling, really. It's scaring like people like that poor mother. I say poor. I mean, obviously, she's got her own stuff to work through. But, at least it sounded like she was having a conversation with her daughter about stuff. And like she was going to Frank to help figure it out. And Frank is giving her all the bad advice. So really terrible.
Yeah. And yeah, they are to the an additional comment. I wouldn't say they're not coming after all non-cis white male Christians. They just added trans, or they didn't stop anything else. I agree. There's what their actual agenda is and what they care about. I just mean that in terms of, and this has probably been temporary, and clearly the allowable rhetoric or the permissible rhetoric regarding race and other things has gotten unfortunately sour in the last few years. I don't know, coinciding with somebody's election, but yeah, they're looking to come after a lot more people than that. But I think there has been a dynamic of public discourse that has made them, as a matter of at least temporary strategy, shift toward picking on transgender people.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of the Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
He really just railed our conversation with that one video,
really
didn't he?
Yeah.
All right. So strategies for basically being a slick salesperson with your family when you're supposed to be having dinner with them, except it's about your religion, so you think it's special. Just
Right.
like every Amway person thinks they're special. So strategy number 1, pray. So basically do the intangible thing that
well, actually, I think it's even more insidious. Look, it says start praying now for opportunities and for hearts to be open. Then volunteer to pray before the meal. No one will interrupt or critique a prayer. Keep the prayer short and thank God for your family members, guests by name, the food, coming to earth that first Christmas in the person of Jesus to pay for our sins. What the fuck? That's a long ass sentence. That's not short at all, Frank. What are you talking about? But anyway, I just like that first line there. Praying now for opportunities and for hearts to be open, because already you're guilt tripping people, because you're basically saying, oh, if you're not going to listen to what I have to say, your heart's just not open, right? Like you're just kind of setting a trap right in the beginning. Sneaky little Frank.
Yeah. Praying for opportunities and for hearts to be open. Obviously, that doesn't actually accomplish anything supernatural. What you're really doing is rehearsing to yourself how they should respond and setting your own expectations so that you become shitty when they don't. And you're kind of predefining how they should react and what it means when they don't react to you the way you think they should.
Exactly. Some might say it's virtue signaling.
Yeah.
In a kind of way.
That's the public part of it. So I love this. Volunteer to pray before the meal. No one will interrupt or critique a prayer. This is typical salesman strategy. Like you're
really
going,
is.
you're going to push the opportunity to be as rude as you possibly can, and know that you're pushing it into areas where them responding a certain way would be considered rude. So you're just taking advantage of social conventions, and the fact that they are just proud of this and think it's great and holy is just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't surprise me for Frank,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Number 2, serve. Get off the couch and serve people as if you were a real Christian. So
What the fuck does that even mean? As if you
Don't-
were a real Christian.
yeah, I serve people stuff at Thanksgiving. I don't think I was trying to be a real Christian, but
No, but Christians love monopolizing every good thing in the world as being inherently Christian. The idea that somebody could serve their family food or do stuff around the house and not be a Christian is just unfathomable to these people.
well, also I don't like the idea that if somebody brought me a extra piece of pie or took my dishes for me or whatever, that they weren't just trying to be nice, that they were trying to prep me for a sales pitch.
Yeah.
That's not really cool.
This is an interesting point from AR. Will Frank be okay with someone volunteering a satanic prayer? Yeah, Frank. Hey, dear Dark Lord, please just let's open up the hearts of those around us at the table today. You know, that they'd be more accepting of this dinner, and of your worldly influences. I think just, more people these days just need to be more in tune with the sensual and the worldly. And, I just hope you open their hearts and minds to that today at this dinner. In the Dark Lord's name, I pray. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I think Frank would come up with a counterexample to the never critique or interrupt a prayer if that started to happen.
Yeah.
All right. So after you've served, seriously ask people how they've been doing this year. Then ask them. "Is there
Pretend like
anything
you give a shit
Yeah,
before you get into your
basically.
sales pitch.
This is just gross. Like, this is co-opting things you should just do naturally because you love your family.
Frank's like, I've been studying human beings for years and how they interact with each other. Here's how I think you should do it if you want to interact with human beings.
You could swap out Jesus or Christianity for Amway, and this would read the exact same way, except Christians would suddenly realize how gross it is.
Yeah, it's true.
And this is really actually sad, because if you have Christian family members, you don't want to be wondering if they're asking how you're doing because they're looking for an opportunity to slip in a conversation about Jesus. You just want to know that you can have your guard down and enjoy your family.
Yeah.
And then important questions to ask. Do you consider yourself a Christian? Why are you not a Christian? Like you ask people at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If Christianity were to blah, blah, blah. Shut up.
How did you come to that conclusion? Have you ever considered? Complete the sentence with evidence you'd like the person to consider. Wow. Hey, have you
ever
considered the rock they found in fucking Egypt? What is it? The Eptha or whatever it was? I don't know.
Have you ever considered why they're still monkeys? Have you ever considered why there's an origin of the universe? It's just training people to be obnoxious.
Yeah, it really is. Number 6, see the conversation. Here are some common objections to Christianity they might bring up with possible responses you might make to see the conversation after you ask them the tactical questions above. Hypocrites. True, but the church is a hospital for sinners. If we were perfect, we wouldn't need a savior. Yeah. I mean, that's just true of I don't know. Yeah.
Nobody's perfect, but I
that?
think most people are more perfect than to show up at Thanksgiving with this kind of bullshit. Like,
a hospital for sinners is such a interesting take. Like, it's just like you guys are so charitable. Like, you really are just helping everybody out in the church and not like, I don't know, brainwashing them to hate trans people or whatever. Yeah, it's just so self-righteous. I don't know. Exclusive. Do you think God should force people into heaven against their will? Oh man. Some people want to burn for eternity, right? I mean, that's just what they want to do. I don't remember asking God to be fucking born, but I still seem to be here, Frank. So what gives? How about
And
opting out
Frank,
of the system?
Frank, please show me one verse in the Bible where God's like, okay, I know you want to go to hell and that just breaks my heart, but I'm going to let you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's depart from me into the eternal fire. Like you don't tell a trembling soul to depart for you into eternal fire because that's where they want to go. I don't know, Frank,
Yeah.
are you a Bible believing Christian or are you just making up whatever thing reconciles your horrible theology
We
with human
we can't
decency?
we can't just force people into heaven. We're not we're not monsters, you know? It's all about free choice.
Wait.
It's Frank Turek is saying your body, your choice is what he's really saying with that.
Hang on.
Uh-huh.
Frank said you would not let your 13-year-old do whatever they wanted if it would harm them.
Oh, that's true. He did say that.
In the same way,
Let 'em allow them to do evil.
but God is going to let us do the most harmful thing that could possibly happen to us, go sit in a lake of fire for eternity because we want to. No, maybe God should take charge of his 13-year-olds and say, no, you're getting up here to heaven because that's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, maybe what God's doing isn't loving by Frank's logic, actually, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right, atheism. I don't have enough faith to eat shit, Frank. Just go eat shit. Every time. That's the only.
I was not expecting you to say that.
That's the only appropriate reaction. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
It's if I lose my shit, like if I lose my patience, that's acceptable, like that's expected. But when you do it, it's so much funnier.
I'm sorry. That's just
Don't apologize. That's
insufferable.
fucking awesome. Oh, that made my night. That's amazing.
I don't have enough cheeseburgers to be a vegetarian.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Science doesn't say anything. Scientists do.
Oh man.
No, Frank,
Really
actually,
cool.
I was having a conversation with the idea of science the other day.
Yeah. I like this. Errors in the Bible. Where, even if you're right, does that mean Jesus didn't rise from the dead? Potentially. Christianity originated not with a book, but with an event, the resurrection. You can say that about fucking, the Quran didn't exist. The Quran's origin is not with a book. Or Islam's origin is not from the Quran, but with the event of the Prophet Muhammad. I mean, you can do that with fucking anything. It's just silly.
I also I love their instinct to just instantly start fudging on the question of biblical inerrancy as soon as it gets awkward.
That's true.
No, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Also, what if a lot of those errors are around the question of the resurrection, as we talked about?
Right.
In the previous
Exactly.
episode?
Yeah.
Well, just because the story of Jesus' resurrection contradicts itself all over the place doesn't mean he didn't rise from the dead. Okay.
Yeah. Evil. What do you mean by evil? It can only exist if good exists, which means if evil exists, then God exists. Wow. It's just fucking lazy, dude. Lazy. Come on. Did you type this in the did you like go to ChatGPT and say what's some silly shit Frank Turek would write for a stupid fucking cross-examined BuzzFeed ass article? That's what this sounds like right now. Come on.
Well, look how they capitalize good too.
Right.
Like I feel like this is supposed to like subtly get you from good to God. Just I don't know. It's just
Yeah, and he's always talking about evil. I hate that he uses that, and Christians use it too. It's just like it's such an unhelpful, nebulous term. Evil can be fucking anything, but yeah, they have multiple objections and aren't listening to your answers. If Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? I remember he asked me this. Because I had a conversation with him afterwards. I was asking him his thoughts on street epistemology. And he said, if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? And I said, maybe. I think I said like maybe or potentially. And he just said like, okay. And then like the conversation ended right there. Because I don't know. I don't know how I'd answer that today, probably a little bit differently, but it's a line he uses a lot, I've noticed.
Yeah. Also, Christianity isn't one proposition. It's a whole body of stories and characters and stuff like that. Like, it can't just all be true. Is the United States true? Well, if the United States is true, are you going to be a patriot?
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. And look at this next one too. He says, agree and affirm. Whatever they get right, it will make points of disagreement more acceptable. Like, I like how you get to be the judge, Frank, of what they get right. Amazing.
It's so condescending.
Look at this.
It's like
He's
pat
plugging
them
his
on the head.
DVD
Oh, good.
set in the middle
What?
of this. You see that? Stealing from God, why atheists need God to make their case, and the DVD set by the same name. When did you write this article, Frank? It's the year of our Lord 2024. Who's buying DVD sets? Where? Who's doing that? What's going on?
So you know how those for those Nigerian print scams, they misspell everything and get the punctuation all wrong and stuff because they're trying
Right.
to weed out all the
Yeah.
non-suckers. Maybe Frank is selling DVDs to weed out all the non-suckers.
Yeah, maybe so. Look, over 177 downloads. 177,000 downloads so far. You gotta brag on himself a little bit there.
Cool. All right.
For that app.
Show them what makes your walk easier. YouVersion Bible, the amazing. I guess we're just selling stuff now.
Yeah,
I don't
really.
know.
I like
Write
this last
them
one though.
afterwards.
Yeah. Follow up with a conversation via email. It can be very effective. Yeah, super effective.
If they were relieved to get out the door and be done with that conversation, keep harassing them.
Yeah.
Hey, remember that stuff we were talking? Oh, fucking Frank! I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Above all, show the kind of grace and unconditional acceptance to others that Jesus has shown to you. You might be the only true ambassador for Jesus they will see this Christmas. Unlikely, I guess. But also, I wish you would show some grace and unconditional acceptance to fucking trans people, Frank. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like there are conditions. I don't know. That's not a controversial thing to say.
To love? I mean, yeah.
How to lose friends and alienate people. A guide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
This is basically all just Amwaying for Jesus. Like, this is straight out of a like obnoxious door-to-door sales book or multi-level marketing book.
David Hepworth said it was written in 2019 based on what's coming in the following paragraphs, and then corrected and said 2018. Okay, but still, at least you should have that shit on Blu-ray. Don't tell me all you were doing was DVDs in 2018. It's not like people were watching DVDs much more in 2018. I was there. Come on.
If someone gave me a DVD, I'd have to go into my crawl space and find something to play it on.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe in my mom's like old Toyota 2005 fucking car seat headrest in the back DVD player on the long road, but besides that, I don't know. Man.
Yeah. So that was Frank Turek, a journey through his online social media presence. His Twitter is a whole other thing. His Twitter, if you've ever seen that, is just like, it's like basically a bot automated barfing out the same thing every like 2 months or something. You keep seeing the same things. But
I guess when I was younger, I used to think that at least Frank had like the veneer of like intellectual rigor. But like as I've gotten older, but especially like today, it's just like, no, he's just like every other one of these apologist schmucks. He's even more schmucky, I think, because he's like lean into this culture war bullshit. I guess they all are doing this stuff now. I don't know. It's really dumb.
I've just always found him very brash and loudmouthed, and his whole it's very apparent how much his whole conversational strategy is just based on either repeating a few catchphrases only meant to appeal to Christians, or whenever he's in direct conversation with somebody who's not on his side, like not obviously part of his immediate team of Christians, then he just bulldozes people by like you in your experience running out the clock or just cutting them off at strategic times. It's I don't know.
Yeah. It's really weird. I don't know. Frank, if you're listening, you're probably not, but you are just like not a cool person to be around. You have bad vibes, first and foremost. You seem more like a salesman than a real human being, and it's very off-putting. And I've studied the issues, and you're wrong about literally everything. And you only have a career because people don't fucking fact check you whenever you go out and do these things. So I'm glad you found something that makes you happy, at least. I wish you could leave other people the fuck alone doing it. Then maybe I would probably not give a shit about you. But instead, the only shit I give about you is talking as much shit as humanly possible while on stream, so I can let you know that I have zero respect for you, and you should probably stop what you're doing because it fucking sucks. You're lame, and your videos are bad. Also, your articles are dumb. That's it.
Yeah, based on the date this was written, this article has ruined at least some people's Thanksgiving for last
It's ruined
5
my
years.
Thanksgiving retroactively, I think.
No, but there's people who have a shitty Thanksgiving because their family members read this and then show up behaving like this.
Oh,
But,
yeah. Yeah, how many Thanksgivings? Frank, I have an extra thing to be mad at you about. You've ruined some people's Thanksgivings, you son of a bitch. Okay? Leave the Thanksgiving alone. There's enough problems with Thanksgiving already without getting your ass into it. Okay? Go to another
All right.
museum and look like you're stealing artifacts or something. Leave everybody else alone.
All right, let's wrap this up. I'll close the line out.
All right.
The only
we gotta
shit I give.
We gotta thank everybody for
Oh, yeah.
watching the stream and tell them to
Sorry.
like and subscribe and comment and do all the things, because we do read the comments and talk about it.
Yes.
And
Yes, thank you all for
pretty
being here. Thank you for your support. Everybody who super chat, all that kind of stuff. Thank you. Thank you just for being here. It's fun.
Yeah.
We had up to 120 people here, all chatting. Sorry, no Baggy. Baggy will make his appearance. I
Yeah.
apologize about that.
And I gotta bring Bingo back too. He's got to make an appearance, I think.
Maybe we'll let Baggy close out the show.
Oh, okay. That sounds good to me. Baggy, what you got for us?
The only shit I give about Frank is the shit I expect him to eat.
Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue y la casa de la bachata. Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue y la casa de la bachata. La, 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 la casa del merengue. La, 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 y la casa de la bachata.